Hey, people. Did y'all know that in Tennessee, second cousin was code word for cheating on your wife? I don't know if you can still say that anymore, but that was a joke when I was a kid. Everybody in Tennessee, they all married their cousin. In order to make them happy, once a year, they would have bath day. And they would all go down and have a wife swapping party. And that was also your cousin. And it's ancient, it's biblical, in the oldest parts of the Bible. And it's told even funnier there in Adam language. And I was looking at this word sing when I found this, and this isn't Sinai. Everywhere this word comes up, it either comes after the mountain, the versing, or the wilderness, which also ends in from diversing. And so it's making fun of the old red man, the way Hollywood makes fun of the way the Indians talked, and versing, and the other side, versing of the other side of the ocean, call 'em upon, to call upon the other side of the ocean, make a fire so big that we send a smoke signal around the world, and versing the other side of the ocean, call 'em upon, and assure heard, all of you abash. Assure, the officer in charge of communications, the herd, and make sure in this message, in my smoke signal, assure the herd. And you see in the Greek, this is due to. That's from here. And yes, sir, herd. All your sons, seeing your signal, they run down the mountain. Yes, sir. What do you need? Yes, sir, I heard you. Because the Senate, that's why he came. But, upon assure a herd, all of you abash, take your hot bath, is what that means. So you're 3 times a year, you got to take a hot bath. And who all as a new cousin. And everybody gonna get a new, why all as a new cousin. A sieves in, the sieves, CVSN, the sieves in, which heard a clear made, and which heard, everybody who heard this, which turned out to be the whole mountain, and quaked, the whole mountain shook, everybody come running down to the wife swapping party, and which heard a clear. A clear is the distance from where the message sent to where it was received, a clear. And you clear that distance, that means you made it back to where the message come from. You made, a clear made. A verse in ocean, call 'em upon. A sure herd in all of you abash. We're going to have a bash, the kind of bash where you bang your cousin, so you might want to take a bash before you get here, or the Sabbath. And why all as a new cousin? And a cousin is just, it's a comical way of saying the girl you're going to screw if you're royal family, because there was only your cousin available. The royal family lived in the mountain, and the cousin receives in. And what's heard in this message, this is what I want heard, a clear, and a sure heard, that all of you bath, who all as new cousin receives in, which heard. If everybody who wants a new cousin, take your bath. Make sure this is heard clear. So if you're from Tennessee and this offends you, I'm sure your cousin got some good pussy. But just remember, that you the one that moved to the Smoky Mountains. The story was written long before. Everybody knew that in the Smoky Mountains, that's what was going on. Y'all was up there, a cousin banging. It was in the Greek. If you couldn't read the Hebrew, it was the Mount Sin smoked entirely, the Smoky Mountains. And if you couldn't read the Greek, it was in the Latin, and tautus autumn on signage fumavat, the sign of the smoke. And taught us autumn on a signage to smell the fume. So this is Exodus 19. It's just before the 10 Commandments. He went up on the mountain and the smoke went up and God came down into the fire. And so the one that's coming down into the fire is you. You take a bath. And you see in the Greek, it's in fury. And back in the day, they used to think that, when you warmed up water, that the atoms would go into a fury and cause them to boil. And here, there's a little more coded in the message, And to a roast as in escape is it tool on. To a roast, put a roast in the pot. A roast has in the AE is ES, ESKAP. And you see the pin, this is the place, the ping. See over here, from place. And they didn't want to interpret this time, but it means in that place of. And to a roast has in is escape in, this escape place. Is it tool? Is it to, but also, to all on is the tool on. This is the tool that you use. Throw them onion skins on the grill, get that burning. Everybody will smell that and come on down. Blow the horn. And to a roast as in escape is in this tool on. Due to, I tell you the IA reads a U. As in DUE, due to, on the account of, because of. Ikada of villanation, the god of, Kada, under this category, the god of villa, the K followed by the E reads as a L, the god of villanation, Tondi, of here, of the, and the A word reading backwards, the pot, of here on the pot. And so, Catawba, that's the worm that only goes down, Catawba. And evil, that comes from the word for the farmer. It's where the word pharmacy come from, and it meant a farmer that knew what herbs could get you tripping. The evil nation. And the Tondi, where. And the god of villanation of the pot, backwards. The P-O-T, the pot. And the V-A reading as a D-E or a T-E. And then the A-E reading as E-S. So it's a D-E-S. And the pot of it is in a fury. In the hot water, boiling. It's in a jave, and like a jive, in a jave, and at Hokapon a Susie. A Hokapon, H-O-K-A-P-N. A Hokapon a Susie. Do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. Susie, to turn around. And the Hokapon a Susie. Everybody coming down to the big party, taking our bath, in a jiving at the Hokapon a Susie. A copping us a coming of. Copping as, to taking you one, copping as, and a coming of, coming of age, a new virgin, a coming of. And assessed, they got this turned around, so you read it the other way. All the people were excitingly amazed. And it's assessed. What's amazing is the sister, keep it in the family. And the cest of pass on, the L followed by the A read as N, and pass on. And the A reading is the H, and has a quadra. And I don't know how that reads. I'm sure it blends on with the next line, and I don't want to get sidetracked on that. And then in the Latin, you can still see they're making fun of the red man over here in America, and his totem pole. That's Roadrunner Latin. A totus automon signage fumavat. And totus and carries, and automons, and in his, he should, and signage, the smoke, and smoke signal. And totus automon a signage fumavat. And how would descend is it dominus super whom in a gine? How would come down, descend is it, and dominus over, and reigning over us whom in a gine, and make a gina out of you, and fucked. And ascend here it fumes, how was the furnace. You see this, the how was, W-A-S. It was the W-O-T, how what, how would over here, in the future, how it would be. And then after, the fume is X after, and how was the furnace, how was hot. And the fumes come out, how was hot. In erotica, eroticum in is home and is, my home people. In eroticum and is a monsterabilis, the monsterables, the terribilies, the double R is a terry, and what you get in that place, the terria, and the monsteria, monster billies, mountain goats. So I imagine Billy's a derogatory part of that, and the hill is just a place where they live, and Billy could be seen as somebody who's willing to bang his cousin. And I guess depending on how you look at that is whether you would think it was derogatory or not. And I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.